With such an enormous supply of bikes available, it's getting really difficult to actually choose which is the perfect bike for you. There's no bad bikes out there, and that in itself makes it quite tricky. So here's Cycle Lab's guide to buying a bike. Let's try break this down so you can make the right choice when choosing a bike. It's not as simple as just picking a bike in your price range. The main question you need to ask yourself is, what type of rider are you? And then of course, what type of terrain are you going to ride on a daily basis? Let's demystify the different categories of bikes. First up, XC, or better known as cross-country bikes. These are super light, efficient bikes made for racing. These bikes want to go as fast as possible all of the time. These bikes are amazing to ride. They glide along the single track very smoothly. These bikes are extremely responsive to rider input. However, these bikes are not really suited to heavy riders or if you are extremely hard on your equipment. Next up, we've got trail bikes. Now these bikes are all about control and comfort. They're not about being extremely lightweight. However, they're still relatively light, they're not that heavy, and they'll give you feedback from your effort you're putting in. They typically have slightly more suspension than a cross-country bike, and the frame geometry will also be slightly more slack. These bikes inspire a lot more confidence in a rider, especially when they're riding technical terrain. They're versatile and, in my opinion, one of the best bikes you can buy. The next category is the all-mountain bike. Now, all-mountain bikes are all about suspension. These bikes just love technical terrain. These bikes are favored by enduro racers. They spec them with heavy-duty componentry for racing, and they really do represent the do-it-all side of mountain biking. That's, of course, with the right rider. They're quite a lot heavier than trail bikes, and they're never going to roll quite as fast because you tend to ride them with heavier, more sticky rubber tires. The wheels and components are both heavier as well. So if rolling hills are your thing, well, this is not really the bike for you. However, if downhills at speed and aggression is what you're looking for, well, then you've got the right bike right here. Next up is downhill bikes. Now this category is very unique. These bikes are all about going down a mountain as fast as you possibly can. They have an enormous amount of travel and are quite intimidating when you look at them. Unless you have the luxury of getting a lift to the top of the mountain before bolting back down again, these bikes, I suppose, are really pointless. Well, downhill bikes are extremely niche to their function, and that's going downhill, but unfortunately not back up. Next up, in my opinion, is the future of mountain biking, e-bikes. Now these bikes give all riders of all abilities the chance to ride together. If you're coming back from an injury, or a person of age wanting to join some young guns on a ride, or two partners of different abilities wanting to ride comfortably together, then an e-bike will be perfect for you. It's been proven that cyclists who've purchased e-bikes ride more often and further, and in actual fact, they improve their fitness. The improved fitness that comes from riding an e-bike is from cyclists now committing to cycling in groups that they would normally never be able to join due to lack of ability, fitness, or even age, and also from cycling more often due to the excitement factor of being able to explore more than they normally would. A hardtail or a full suspension. A hardtail having only a front shock, and a full suspension having a front shock as well as a rear shock. Now this is a difficult choice. If you compare a hardtail to a full suspension at a particular price point, you're always going to get more bike and better componentry out of a hardtail than a full suspension at that particular price point. The cost to manufacture a dual suspension frame set is a lot more than the cost to manufacture a hardtail frame. So you'll usually need to downscale the dual suspension bike to meet a specific budget. So if you're on a tight budget, you'll definitely get better quality bike and better components if you purchase a hardtail. So don't be fooled into thinking a hardtail is just a cross-country bike. It's not. You get hardtails in all categories of bikes, and they're actually super fun to ride. However, if you're looking for comfort and control, then a full suspension is the way to go. Next up is gravel bikes. Now this is a new category that's certainly growing fast, and if you like exploring, finding new roads, or simply touring, then this is a category you should really be looking at. A gravel bike has the look and feel of a traditional road bike, but has the ability to fit wider tires into the frame. It has a slacker geometry than a road bike, which makes these bikes perfect to take on any gravel road or smooth single track. However, these bikes don't have any suspension, so when the terrain gets a little rough and rocky, it's going to get a bit uncomfortable out there. Finally then, road bikes. Now, road bikes have also changed dramatically over the last few years, and generally you get two types of road bikes. You get aero bikes, which will give you a very rigid and hard ride. Aero bikes are not designed to be extremely light. However, on the flat road, they're designed to go as fast as possible. Then of course you get the bikes that are focused more on being lightweight and going uphill as fast as possible. These bikes are more comfortable to ride and have a softer feel than an aero bike. Road bikes these days also come in two braking options. You get the traditional rim brake, the one we all rode, and then of course these days we get the disc brake option. Neither one nor the other is better or worse. However, disc brakes are a newer technology and provide better braking efficiency than traditional rim brakes. The better braking performance does come with a slight disadvantage, and that of course is it's slightly heavier than its alternative rim brake option. The bottom line is that 29er, the new larger standard, has really become the go-to option. The bigger sized wheels roll over any object and are more comfortable than other wheel sizes. However, for shorter people in stature, that's about 160 centimeters or below, may sometimes find it a little difficult to fit onto a 29-inch wheel size bike. In this case, then there's another option, which is the 27.5-inch wheel, which may be better suited. So there's absolutely no doubt that the standard really is 29er, and most people will choose a 29-inch wheel. Next up, what about the size of the bike, the size of the frame? Now this too can be a little confusing if you're buying a bike for the very first time. However, bike manufacturers have become extremely clued up when it comes to bike sizing. There'll be sizing charts on most manufacturers' websites, and of course you can be correctly sized by one of our professional bike fitters at any of our Cycle Lab stores. Typically there'll be 5 sizes of bikes ranging from extra small right up to extra large. If you fall between two different sizes, you obviously will then have two options. If you choose the smaller bike, the bike will feel a little more agile, but if you're a less experienced rider, this could translate into feeling a bit more nervous, so you might want to then size up. Sizing up will automatically make you feel a little more stable on the bike. At Cycle Lab, we've got some really clued up professional bike fitters, and we've also got the latest tech to make sure that we size you up and that we custom fit your bike to your body. Another option is of course demo days, or try before you ride, and what you could do is head over to your nearest Cycle Lab and get one or two bikes that you think are appropriate and try them out. Even if it's just a spin around the parking lot, it might clarify your choice for you. Also, look out for demo days where a particular brand or a range of brands get together and have a full proper demo day. This is a great way to test out future bicycles, and I suggest that if you're in the market for an e-bike, it's a good idea as well. Remembering, try and narrow it down to 3 or 4 models before you get there, otherwise you might become confused. When you set a budget for your new bike, remembering you might need a few extras like a helmet. Well, in fact, that should be an essential. Shoes, a good quality pair of padded cycling shorts, and of course some eyewear. Then you'll also need a few spares, and you don't want to be caught out on the trail and not have the necessary tools to fix your issues. So you might want a tube, a tie lever, a pump, or these days we use a small bomb and bomb adapter. So make sure you budget for those parts as well. to buy online or to pop in store. Now, we could probably do an entire video on this as well, and we probably should. Now, for a first timer, buying online can be a little intimidating and sometimes confusing. At Cycle Lab, on our online store, we do have live chat agents to help you through the process. A lot of bikes bought online these days are in fact collected in store, and that's where we do the entire setup, as well as make sure that you've got all the extras that you would need. Going into the store is also great because it's filled with experienced bicycle riders ready to give you the best advice and guidance available. They can size you up, personalize your bike to fit you so that you're ready to ride when you leave the shop. There's also a massive social aspect to coming in store, browsing around, looking at all the new latest and greatest bicycle equipment. And of course, at Cycle Lab we have Cycle Lab Active, which is our riding club, and you can get all the information to join our rides on a Saturday morning. Finally, new bike or second hand, or should I say previously loved. At Cycle Lab we trade in bikes, so we do have a vast array of previously loved bikes. Now, there's a few things to remember here. Make sure that you're buying tech that still has spares available. For instance, 26-inch wheels these days are almost out of fashion and fairly difficult to find the spares. Also, it's worth mentioning that most manufacturers don't carry a warranty on second owner, so you need to consider that. However, if you're looking for bang for your buck, second-hand or previously owned can certainly be somewhere you should be looking. As you can see, there are many categories of bikes, and choosing a bike, especially for a first timer, can be fairly difficult and sometimes a little confusing. So why don't you pop into one of our Cycle Lab stores or online at cyclelab.co.za, and our fully trained staff will take you through the process. They will make it real easy to join the wonderful world of cycling. I hope this video made choosing your next bike a little bit easier.